Hey, welcome to Performance Reviews. If your Vacmaster has stopped sucking, we're going to show you how to fix it in this video. This applies to the 3-gallon commercial/residential model.
We got Phillips screws in there. Wow. Really interesting. First of all, we have some sound deadening on the lid, which is really good. This is usually reclaimed material, but that's still really good to see. So now the question is this a sealed HEPA unit? We'll be answering that here shortly. Let me grab the filter, set that there. The cord rewind comes off. All is one chunk. We do have a very generic switch. This is the same sort of switch we see on something like a Dyson. No problems with that switch. And we do have quick releases on here that are locking. I actually like that. I think I'm going to give that a pass. I don't see anything bad. Now we do have some of this stuff, which, apparently it's self-adhesive on this particular machine. On here. So that was on there as a sticker. Nothing wrong with that, but it is, again, a cost-saving measure. Now, I can tell you right now that is a big leak right here. If you can see that, big enough I can stick a screwdriver or something in there. So this is not a sealed system, which means some of the air is leaking around. And I think that kind of explains why there's sound deadening right here. And again, you can see where it's black. I think you guys can see that. Let's focus on that. You can see where it's a little discolored. That's from the motor carbons coming out of there. But that's a kind of proof that it's not a sealed system. That doesn't surprise me in this price point. But what does surprise me is the motor dampening material. That's a nice touch. I've seen far more expensive vacuums not have that. So it looks like there's just 6 screws to take this apart. Again, more sound deadening. This is a fairly quiet machine. And again, you can see that big hole right there. So again, not a sealed system. The motor, she's tiny. Not as tiny as I expected, but it is a small motor. Looking for markings on here. Well, we can show it up close. Maybe somebody can identify this. The comment section, we have a quality control sticker. Nothing bad to say about the motor. It's just very generic, very small. You can see not too many brush marks. Okay, not too bad, but definitely this is not like a 2,000 hour life motor. This is probably like 500 to 1,000 hours just looking at this. That's all right. Again, all this I think is acceptable for something in this price range. If this was, above 200 USD, I would have a lot of questions with this, but at this price range, it's fine. The gaskets appear to be just rubber. They're fine. All right, so that's all good. So it is not a sealed system, we've learned today. So that means not all the air is moving into this filter. The motor is kind of cheaply constructed. We, again, expected that. It is easy to work on. It uses some off-the-shelf parts like the switch. Again, I do like that, and it's switched on both sides. That's, again, a big plus. The gauge of the cord is thin, as I mentioned. This seems like it could break off easily. And you see the big metal return spring. Yeah, that's real chintzy right there. I bet this will be the first thing to break on here. The other thing I'd like to mention while we're in the shop in terms of a maintenance point of view is you can see right here on the floor tool, there's no way to get this wheel out to clean this axle, and hair and stuff will build up in there. With the same or similar tool on other vacuums, that wheel just pops off without tools. Well, now that we've gotten all apart, let's put this bad mamma jamma back together. I'm not sure it's just quite too bad, but start with the gasket. And then I want to orient this whichever way the switch goes, which is this way. So we're going to orient the motor that way because these leads are really, really tiny. The rubber motor mount for sound vibrations, that's good. Now, something I was discussing earlier is that this is not a sealed unit. You can see that there's just a big hole here. I'm kind of half tempted to remedy that there with a little bit of silicone. That would probably be more than enough to seal this up and really make sure that everything is going through that HEPA filter. It's a shame there's not a grommet or something in here. This is GE silicone too. This is the fast drying stuff. I am just going to attempt to silicone Sally this and maybe make a grommet. Now I won't be able to turn it on until this sets, but I think that will take care of that, and it's now sealed. Let's go ahead and we're going to put this back on, and this is supposed to be the sealant for this. As you can see, it didn't quite work out on mine. This really isn't something you'd use to seal it anyways. You want to use that silicone. Now, something I noticed when I took mine apart is the bumper fell off, so we're just going to stick that on before we forget. And the switch is polarized, which is nice. Quit that. That just goes on like so. Now we're going to put the lid on. And we got to line everything up. The plastic is really flexible with this, so you'll have to kind of bend it and make sure it's put in place. Make sure the switch works. Make sure the cord rewind works. And then holding it very carefully, you're going to set it on its backside. And then the last long screws are going to go in. Just like so. Nice little cost-saving measure there. You want to torque them opposite first. Then once everything has been torqued, we're gonna recheck with a proper size screwdriver, like so. Everything is torqued. Wonderful. Next, you want to install this pre-motor filter right here. And there is a post-motor filter. This should be white when you look at it. Mine is about half gone to give you an idea of where this one is. And that just installs on the back. This is not a sealed unit, but most of the air is being forced through there. So keep that in mind. Put that on the right way. Very simple. I want to just talk a little bit about the main can. Again, if I can find this, I'll put a link in the description below. I have been successfully using Henry bags in this the whole time without a problem. These are higher quality bags than what came with this. And if for some reason they stop making these bags, the Henry bags will be around far longer, probably the Vacmaster themselves, as they've been in the business for a very long time. So again, I'll put a link below to the Henry bags you can run in this as well. And that just snaps back together like so. So that's how to get into your Vacmaster dry vacuum. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. If you have one of these, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I know these have been kind of sold in masses on Amazon. Wanted to show you mine's battle scars. That was after the bayoneting. Should have used a better bayonet. If you really like what we're doing, check out our Patreon. The little bit of help we get goes a long way, and especially with advertising guidelines, it just makes sense. So definitely go check out our Patreon. And if you really like vacuum cleaners, I mean, you are like obsessed with vacuum cleaners, you need to go check out our Discord, where we talk vacuum cleaners all day long. Have yourself a wonderful day.